Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I have tried to record this video like 2 or 3 times now at this point, but I figured since I'm sitting here in a parking lot in Crystal Cove down in Southern California with the car here, I figured now's as good a time as ever to film this video. But yeah, I put the first ever mod on the new car. So super simple mod. It's really not even like a full video worth of a modification. I did some like filming while I was doing the actual modification process, but yeah, I figured now's as good a time as ever to just sort of like show you guys the finished product of what we ended up looking like. So I didn't film super in depth the actual wrapping process. I have a couple clips that I'm gonna just cut together right now, but yeah, it was a long process. I'll let you watch that. Oh my god. Maybe we come back and do this at a later time. It's like 90 degrees outside, so maybe we postpone. But I did watch a couple of videos on how to do this. You just need some pry tools. Again, these are probably unnecessary. Could have used a screwdriver with a little bit of cloth around it, but yeah, I watched a couple tutorials, so I think I know how to do it. I'm just gonna pop all of the interior bits off, and then I'm gonna do all of the wrapping inside where it's air conditioned and cool. Yeah, so bear with me for a sec while I unplug everything basically. The other thing that has to be removed is this little guy right here. I don't necessarily want it, nor do I like it on there. What I end up doing with my phone most of the time is just kind of like propping it up in this cup holder right here, which works actually very well. So yeah, we're gonna get rid of this. Probably have to clean up maybe the residue underneath at some point. And then yeah, get to wrapping everything. So there's just this panel on the door, which it's hard to see, that one there, same here on the other side, and then in the middle here, which might also be kind of a challenge to get underneath this bit here, but yeah, from there should be pretty simple. I'm gonna get to prying these off because I'm sweating, and then back inside. Well, as I probably should have expected, things are not as always as simple as they look. I have 4 of the 5 pieces out of the car. The last one that is actually in the car is the, it's not even like a cigarette lighter in this car. It's just the plastic, like tray table. So this is what I mean. This is the only piece, and apparently it's not only just stuck by a couple of bolts down below, but there are 2 screws at the front of it that go upwards into this plastic pit that has to be removed by taking out the entire center console. So I'm kind of at this point where I'm not sure if I want to go through all that trouble or not. I feel like I've got it out for the most part, so I should just go for it. I got a YouTube video here that'll show me how to do it, but turns a 15-20 minute job into an hour job. Not great. I may just go forward with it anyway.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
I decided to go for it because we're only doing this once. We are out. I know it's gonna be really hard to see, but this has been lifted out of the car. I may just try not to take it out completely. I want to be able to access those bolts though, which I believe can only be done from underneath the center console. So we're going to try and take it out, put it down on the grass right here, do those bolts, undo that. That'll be the first piece I wrap, and then I'm actually going to reassemble the car just so that it's in a normal state. And then yeah, hopefully this won't take too much longer. A lot of things are undone right now and I don't like it. Okay, we're going to continue with the process. Okay, I'm still out of breath. I would strongly recommend you don't do this. The car's in disarray right now. Everything's out of everywhere. I can't even, this has actually become way more harder than I thought it was gonna be. The piece that was so elusive is finally out, so I'm going to clean it up, wrap it immediately, and get it back in the car. I can't stand seeing the car all open like this. Yeah, it's time. We're just gonna wrap this thing and button it all back up. All right, next thing. So I ended up wrapping all of the door handles, which when I say all, it's a two-door coupe, so there's only two of them. I did both sides. I did the main center piece, which kind of wraps across the entirety of the dash, and then the two center console pieces that frame the gear lever and little ashtray tray thing. So overall, it was a pretty easy process. Ended up just taking a long time, way longer than I was expecting, actually. One thing I do notice is you definitely need heat if you're gonna try and do this on your own. It makes the wrap just like super pliable, so you can wrap it around, and then I think it adheres a bit better. I haven't had any issues. So I did this originally maybe 3 weeks ago, somewhere in there. And I haven't noticed the wrap degrading at all. It's not peeling in any of the corners. It doesn't look like it's fading or anything. Although I don't know if that would ever happen with the sun over 3 weeks. But overall, I mean, it looks the same as the day it went in the car. So I think it looks pretty good. It definitely tamed down the interior a bit and made it a little more professional. I'm a big fan of just kind of like simple shapes, black everything, not a lot of high contrast going on. And I think it kind of like toned the interior of the car down perfectly. I mean, that was the only flaw I thought I noticed with the interior, was just like this random bits of like reddish oaky wood. I'm not sure what kind of wood it was. Yeah, no, it wasn't like super sporty. It didn't have that like aggressive vibe, and this clearly does. I did think about possibly putting in 1M trim pieces. So all of the kind of trim bits that I pointed out, I think would be Alcantara, but I don't know if they did Alcantara on the door pulls and in the center console. I'm not actually sure. I know for a fact they did the big piece that kind of frames the entire dash, but you know, I thought about that. This was so much cheaper. I found a roll on Amazon for $20, ended up framing, cutting, and wrapping the entire thing myself. I think it turned out pretty good. You know, there's a couple of like rough edges or areas where maybe like the wrap folded over on itself, but they're tucked away on like the smallest, most obscure places that visually when you're sitting in the car you don't even notice it. So, you know, I'm proud of myself for doing that. I have a massive appreciation now for anyone who wraps cars as a profession, like doing the entire exterior of a car and even, you know, like fine trim bits. Some of the bumpers on cars, like modern cars, are so deep. You know, there's a lot of different angles and sharp lines, so I can't even begin to imagine what that's like. After doing it, my fingers were numb as I kept like blowing warm air at them from the hairdryer. Yeah, it was a bit of a process, and getting all of the trim bits out was another headache. Yeah, but overall, I mean, I'm very happy with the way it came out. The interior is super clean in here now. I honestly don't think I'll be changing anything else. It really is perfect for me. Actually, I take that back. If I do any other interior mods, it's going to be one of two things. One, I will change the start-stop ring around the ring to be black, because it's currently silver. It's not bad. I actually don't mind it, but if they have a matte black one and it's only $5, that's just going in. The other thing is this car has iDrive. I don't know what version of iDrive it is. They're currently on iDrive 8. This is probably like iDrive 2. It's so old. It's this dash up here. The only thing it really does is when I plug my phone in and play music, it displays the album cover with any of like the song info, which is useful, but it would be great to have my maps show up there, Apple CarPlay, music, all that kind of stuff. And then you can even modify to add a rear camera, like a backup camera, which we're absolutely gonna do when we get the chance. I don't know how wiring that goes, but yeah, so I may be swapping out the head unit on this car. I want to keep the original plastic frame that is there, and I'd like to just replace the screen and obviously the components behind there. But if I can do that and pull that off and make it to where this little iDrive interface gizmo down here interacts with that screen up there, I'll be set. But yeah, guys, without further ado, that's gonna be kind of it for this video. It's a short one, it's a quick one. The next mod on the car, I can promise you, is going to be a bit bigger, more involved, and I think it's gonna totally change the look of the car, but we'll leave that there for now. Yeah, super excited for that next project, but yeah, for now, I'm super happy with how it turns out. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave it a like, subscribe if you're interested in seeing more content, and go follow me over on Instagram at ApexPixel or ApexPixel with no IE on the end. It makes sense, but that's the car account. Either way, guys, you know what to do. Everything will be linked down below. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one, and peace.
What's up, man? It's booming, I'm back again. Let your friends know. Can you bring my hair like Iverson's?